Hello, everyone. I'm Brandon, and today we're going to talk about Shroud. Shroud by Adrian Tchaikovsky. They looked into darkness, and the darkness looked back. In Shroud, a commercial expedition to a distant star system discovers a pitch-black moon alive with radioactivity. Its high gravity, high pressure, zero oxygen environment is deadly for human life, but ripe for exploitation. They name the moon Shroud, but they never mean to go there until a catastrophic accident sends scientists Juna and Mai hurtling toward its inhospitable surface in a barely adequate escape pod. They are forced to crash land, and alone, the two women embark on a grueling journey across land, sea, and air in search of salvation. Their progress is shadowed by Shroud's extraordinary alien life. Yet, are these monstrous creatures more frightening than threatening? Or does something truly unprecedented lurk on the hostile moon? And will the two visitors ever escape to bring the truth to light? That's what Shroud is about. Adrian Tchaikovsky, he is one of the most prolific authors writing today. He has read countless novels. He is releasing more yearly. He is best known for his Children of Time science fiction series and also his Shadow of the Apt fantasy series. So yes, he does write science fiction and fantasy. And he has also written many standalone science fiction novels. He's written the Dog of War series, which has a new book coming out. And also Children of Time will have a new book out next year, which, if you've seen the recent news, he actually has plans to release 4 new novels next year. So Tchaikovsky is not slowing down. And he consistently writes at a high quality. This year's Hugo Awards nominated Service Model and Alien Clay. So he has two novels nominated for Best Novel at the Hugo Awards. So this shows that he is consistently writing high quality material, and Shroud is no different. This was a fantastic novel. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to be recommending it. And throughout this video, we'll be talking about Shroud, and I'll kind of give you a little more detailed look at what it's about, what I thought about the themes. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers as much as I can. There may be some minor spoilers, but from what you can read in the description is kind of what I'm going to cover, and then I'm going to talk about what I think about it. So let me start off by talking about Adrian Tchaikovsky a little bit more. He started writing as a teenager, and it took him 15 years of constantly writing and sending in new novels to publishers before he ever got published. And since then, obviously he's getting published now. His works are very well received. He is very popular in the science fiction community, and for good reason. He has won numerous awards for his work. Children of Time won the Arthur C. Clarke Award in 2016. He's got awards for Children of Ruin, The Doors of Eden science fiction novel, Shards of Earth, City of Last Chances, Saturation Point, which is a novel, novella, excuse me. Alien Clay was nominated. Service Model was nominated. The Children of Time series in 2023 won the Hugo Award for Best Series. So clearly, Tchaikovsky is a good writer. He has written many, many works, and he's not stopping. He's not slowing down. Let me know. What is your favorite Tchaikovsky novel? Do you prefer his fantasy or his science fiction? Shroud. Let's get into it. So, this novel starts off with a commercial ship orbiting this moon that has, a very dense atmosphere, very high gravity. The moon is actually larger than the Earth, but it's tidally locked, orbiting a gas giant. So, if you were on the surface of Shroud, which is very unlikely, and if you were to be able to see through the atmosphere, which you wouldn't, but if you were, the sky would be taken up by this gas giant. So there's this kind of an interesting economic, political situation that it doesn't really take. It's not really the main focus of the book, but it just kind of provides some background where there's this concept called that Tchaikovsky calls the concerns. It has to do with humanity's past, and now their concerns are basically humanity is just trying to exploit as much as they can. They're moving through the galaxy. They show up to these planets and moons. They explore them. They research them, all in the name of extracting resources, mining. And sometimes they set up kind of they'll set up a bigger station to where people can come and live there or use it to further expand. So this society that's been created, it's all about commercial expansion. It's about resource extraction. It's about profit. The characters in this novel, not the main characters, but kind of like the characters in like the director, the leadership positions, they're constantly asking, is this mission worth the resources we're putting into it? Are we going to profit off of it? So we kind of have that background going. So why this crew is on a ship called the Garviner, and the novel focuses on a group called Special Projects. So they are there to kind of find out what is on Shroud's atmosphere, what is underneath the atmosphere. This is a very, very dense atmosphere. So they're constantly sending drones down into it. These drones fail. Some like 40 or 50 drones fail before finally they get a signal back. And it gives them some little bit of information. This atmosphere is like the deep ocean on Earth. If you were to go into the atmosphere without protection, it would crush you, a human being. So a human cannot survive there without a form of, some kind of submarine or a probe strong enough to withstand the pressures of the high pressure atmosphere. And because of this, the surface is completely dark. No light gets through the atmosphere. So it's complete darkness. And, this probe finally sends a signal, so they do get a little bit of information. And there's a lot going on the Garviner with, is Special Projects worth worth putting resources into. Because also, if a person, an individual person has to earn their wage worth. If they don't, they get sent back into like a cryogenic sleep, and they only get taken out when they're needed. So this crew is trying to work out what can they do to be profitable. And the director of special projects comes up with an idea. We need to send humans down there. And the engineers are thinking there's no way. Like, you can't send a human down there. But one of the engineers does begin to work on a probe that has all kinds of this, advanced technology that can survive with a person inside it. And then we have a situation in orbit. I won't spoil what it is, but as you may have seen in the description, there is an accident that happens, and 2 of the crew members of special projects ends up in one of these probes designed to move on the surface of Shroud. They end up on Shroud in this probe, and from there the novel kind of becomes a survival tale of these two characters living in this probe, trying to figure out where they are, what are they going to do, how are they going to survive. They can't see what's around them because they're in a probe, and even if they wouldn't, it's complete darkness. If the probe were to fail, they'd be crushed instantly. The probe is equipped with some lamps, so they can turn on these lamps, and all they can see is what's in the world within that band of light from their lamps. So it's a very limited view. And there's also all this electromagnetic activity that is, so when they receive these signals, they can measure and sense all the electromagnetivity, and it's just static, all kinds of this crazy static. And it turns out there is life on Shroud, and all of it is very electromagnetically loud. So everything down there, every life form is screaming in this EM band of energy. And Tchaikovsky has created this incredible ecosystem based on, okay, so these life forms, they can't see, they never evolved eyes. They evolved these sensory mechanisms to detect the electric magnetic energy. So that's how an organism sees on Shroud, basically, is through this EM energy. And it's a really incredible world building. I did recently get the chance to talk with Adrian Tchaikovsky in another video that I'll be linking in the description. It's not on my channel. It was on another YouTuber's channel, but you can check that out in the description below. And Adrian did mention how the world building in this book is as scientifically accurate as he could make it. So he did put in the effort to make this, real science. How would life evolve on a planet, on a moon such as Shroud? If they evolved to these different senses, and this high pressure environment. And I believe he had a colleague who was able to help him with the science. So he described this as one of his most hard science books that he's ever written. And it shows. It shows for sure. This ecosystem he built is truly incredible. So here are these characters, Juna and Mai, stuck on the surface of Shroud. They don't know where they are. They don't know what they're going to do. They have very limited visibility of what's around them. And they begin this trek across the surface of Shroud because there's a point that they're trying to get to. I won't spoil that. So maybe they have a very, very tiny chance of getting off the planet. So they decide to go in that direction. This probe it moves with these legs, these like big metal legs, I'm assuming. And it moves across the surface. There are these like brambles, a bramble type, I don't know if you'd call it a plant or a life form or what, that they have to crawl through. They go across the surface of an ocean through air, which you'll have to read the book to figure out how they get this probe to go through air. It's very very interesting, definitely worth reading. And they also encounter an alien life form that they dub the Shrouders. And they do communicate with it in a very, very minor way. And it's like, how could you communicate with a creature like completely different than how humanity evolved? And we get told the perspective. We actually get chapters from the Shrouders' point of view. And another thing that Tchaikovsky did mention is that he did have, this was a challenging perspective for him to write. Typically, he's able to write his alien characters fairly easily, but this one, because of the perspective of the Shrouded, and if you read the novel, you'll see, what he's talking about, is it has a very interesting perspective that was a challenge to write. So we get a point of view of the human characters of the Shrouded as Juna and Mai are going on this trek, and are these creatures intelligent, semi-intelligent? That's not clear. As the novel goes, we learn more about that. And this is definitely a tale of survival with Juna and Mai, and a little bit of a horror story. I mean, if you can't see anything, there's no light. If your probe fails, you're crushed instantly. There's these creatures outside that you can kind of see. They can kind of see in the lamplight. Like this is a horror story in many ways, but also this story is primarily a science fiction story of exploration. They are exploring this moon throughout the novel, throughout their survival journey. It's also them exploring and learning what Shroud is and what's in it, what the life is. So it's an excellent science fiction novel. And things go from there. There's more to it near the end of near the kind of back half of the novel. I don't want to go into that at all. So that's kind of what Shroud was about to me, what I got out of it. There's more that I don't want to talk about to avoid spoilers. So let me get into now, my review of the novel, what I thought about it. Adrian starts his books by building a world first and then creating a plot around that and then putting characters into his world. And so this may make one think that he wouldn't have very strong characters. But the characters in this are very well written. Judah and Mai, they're stuck in this probe, and their development through the novel is they slowly kind of progress into a form of insanity, almost. Like, they don't get that far, but I mean, can you imagine being stuck in this probe on this inhospitable, dark world, surrounded by these creatures that you don't know anything about? I mean, that's going to really affect somebody mentally, and you can tell that as the novel goes. The character work in this novel is excellent. The world building, fantastic. This is a novel of exploration, of first contact, of survival, of horror. All these things come together to make a really, really good novel. I would definitely recommend this for any fan of Tchaikovsky, any science fiction reader. You know, even those people who may not typically read science fiction, I think, you know, it would be worthwhile to read a novel such as this. So for that reason, I am giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Why not 5 stars? What's that final half a star? They do journey across this moon shroud, and it seems like they're going a really, really far distance. And it's kind of waved away, like, how could they travel this far? Like, it's got to be an extreme amount of time. It's never really said if days or weeks gone by. And how does this probe go such a long distance just on these arms? So that's it's a very minor thing. It's not really explained away very well to my satisfaction. So that's the half a star taken off, and why I gave it 4.5. But 4.5 for me is a very good review. I don't give 5 stars very often. I usually give 3 or 4 stars. So 4.5 is, I mean, this is going to be one of my top novels for the year, no doubt. So check out Shroud. It's out in the US, the UK. The covers, I mean, the UK cover is fantastic. The US cover, I'll put it here. The U.S. cover I really think is excellent as well. So if you have a chance to pick this up, I would do so. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments, have you read Shroud? What did you think of it? And if you haven't read Shroud, do you plan on picking it up? Also, can your reading pace keep up with Tchaikovsky's writing pace? Mine sure can't. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more content.